You're listening to the Complex Action Actual Play podcast. The team talks to Z-Trip about a job that will help them find some information out about Hailey. Then it's planning time. Noses to the grindstone, doing legwork for another corporate break-in. Now please enjoy episode 37, Morse Code. And I think that Throwback was interested in trying to sell a cyberdeck, correct?
Yeah, after... was it like 8 painstaking hours? We got the ownership changed just barely, and now it's ours. And was hoping to meet up with Wada the next time we see her and see if she could maybe help us sell it, because she seems like a really sociable person.
What? Yeah, of course. I'm not busy this afternoon, I think. And she off camera awkwardly looks at the Narataki next to her. I can get free. I learned escape artist. Can you come pick me up?
Are you tied up right now?
There's so many arms.
Oh, yeah. Tell me where you are. I'll wait outside.
Yeah, Boker says I shouldn't do that, but I'll give you a location nearby. Yeah.
Boker, gotcha.
And Wada will carefully escape artist extract herself from the multitude of Narataki arms, get dressed very quietly, and try to slip out the door.
Describe to me who this person you're escaping from is, and remind everyone what relationship there is there.
Or persons, from the sounds of things. You may not have put your push to talk.
Yeah, no, just someone I know. Just someone I owe a lot of money to. Name is Naratasha. She's quite beautiful, very athletic, gorgeous, dark skin. But no, I don't think we should talk about it. We need to be quiet and just slip out.
All right. Where are you meeting? Where did you decide to meet Throwback?
I'm just gonna pretend like I'm jogging, and just get off campus as quickly as possible and down the street. Maybe at a stuffer shack around the corner. Are they in the cast? Maybe a Kong Walmart, right? It's probably more of those. Oh yeah, just a Kong Walmart nearby.
All right, Kong Walmart. Throwback, you headed there?
Yeah, I did get the arrow, and probably head on down and just awkwardly wait at the arrow till I see her.
Yeah, I'm just in a jeans and a shirt, and my hair is all messy. It looks like I just woke up and I'm just jogging, looking over my shoulder at the same time. It's sort of more of a run, really, more kind of a run.
As you get close, are you running from somebody?
No. So hey, what's this about? Yeah, okay. I should just jump in the passenger seat. Yeah, cool. Thanks for picking me up. I really appreciate it. I don't know where my car is. It's been a long weekend. She's got probably the haggard eyes. Looks like somebody who's been on a college bender, freshman bender.
Yeah, Throwback's obviously kind of taking note of it, but kind of still smiling at you. I'll say, that's cool, I guess. We can find your car later, but have you ever sold anything before? Do you know anybody who would buy this stuff?
No. But I think there's that whole place, I'm still kind of new to Columbia, but I think there's that whole place with a market or something. We could go check that out.
Do I have any idea what she's talking about?
Do you have a Columbia area knowledge skill?
Sure do. Give me 1 second. All right, I got 4 hits on area knowledge.
Yeah, you're pretty sure what she's talking about is the horseshoe. That's the most common, place to get questionable goods.
All right, yeah. So Throwback will kind of he has a look of oh yeah, why didn't I think of that over his face, and says, oh, that's awesome. Oh man, there's a lot of people in there though. It's a little intimidating, but you could probably do it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not a problem. I can do it. Absolutely. Yeah. This thing's worth a lot of money, right? I think.
He kind of gives you a look yeah, of course. Here are the technical specs, and I'll ping your comm link if you actually have one on you now, with all the technical specs for the what's it called?
It's a Renraku Tsurugi.
That's the one.
Yeah, my phone. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what any of this means, but I'm sure we can find somebody, right?
Give you a sharp nod, like, heck yeah.
You're gonna help?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do all the fancy talking if you can just explain to them what it is and maybe make sure that we're not getting, like, ripped off.
I can do that.
All right. Do you have does Throwback have an etiquette skill?
I do, yeah.
All right. Well, then assist, boy.
I can do.
It's an extended test, etiquette plus charisma. And this could take you some time, so, in-game time, some serious time. But,
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
All right, well, I got 2 hits on my assist test for her.
Each roll is the, I believe, the delivery time, and then it takes the delivery time for us to get it, so, but...
Mm-hmm.
It's like a rainy day fund, only you don't keep it on top of your fridge.
We still got it in one less roll. We got it in 2 instead of 3.
All right. Well, there you go. So it's going to take you 2 months, and we can So you're going to be asking around in the horseshoe, and Throwback's going to be helping you, explain things to people, and for a while here and there, you're going to get phone calls from people, and somebody saying, yeah, I can talk to this person, and I'll see if I can get them in touch with you, and I'll probably check back in with you guys, and we'll role play some of that here and there. I'll make a note of it, but
that'd be great because I still have to do a negotiation roll to actually sell it. I'm just finding somebody who will buy.
Right. So, I mean, eventually, after the 2 months, that's when that roll gets made. Am I correct?
Yeah, that sounds right. I love the idea that we're just there for 2 months. Like, please, somebody buy this.
It's not going to get tracked back to us, right?
No. It's totally mine. So
it's yours. Okay, perfect. That's even better.
And then I could just give them ownership once we make a legal and binding deal.
Excellent.
You're really good at this talking to people stuff.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm good. People like me around here. That's a really cool crowd. Thanks for getting me to do this. I got to meet so many cool people. Did you know that person over there sells pigeons on a stick?
No, that sounds disgusting.
Oh, I bet it's good. You don't think so?
I mean, I guess we could try one. Is that a hickey on your neck?
No. Devil rats.
Oh.
Awkward sounds.
Yeah, we just awkwardly get a pigeon on a stick. As I try to figure out if there was a devil rat that kissed her on the neck.
The vendor who sells you the pigeon on a stick, they don't call it a pigeon on a stick. They call it a dove on a stick.
It doesn't sound nearly as bad when he puts it that way as I'm chomping on this piece of meat.
I don't know the difference.
All right. Well, time goes on. You guys enjoy your time in the horseshoe. It's lively this afternoon. There's a lot of people, doing all sorts of business. Lots of legitimate business happens in the horseshoe, and it's pretty sunny, and it's still kind of, fall hasn't quite kicked in full force here in Columbia, so everything's still kind of green and whatnot. It's a beautiful day. Is Elric last we talked had just spoken to Z-Trip, and he hadn't told anybody about his meeting with Z-Trip yet, but he had talked to him about a potential information and how to move forward on this Hailey thing.
Yeah, he had some sort of a job in mind, didn't he?
He did indeed. He said he might have an idea for how he could potentially get the information that to crack the next part of the puzzle that he needs to crack in order to find out about Hailey. To take the next step would require some shadow work, and he, if you guys were willing, then he suggested you get everybody together and come meet him at some point. And call him and tell him when you want to meet.
Okay, I don't recall. Did he have a specific time frame in mind, like he wanted to meet us within a certain number of days?
He didn't. The way he kind of described it to Elric was he was working on the data that you guys had gotten from Blue Data. Had some there was information in there about Hailey. He kind of sent you guys there on a little bit of a pretense, but he didn't spend a lot of time dwelling on that because he didn't want you to think too hard about it. But he did say that he had some data, and he's been trying to crack it for a long time, but they have some serious encryption, and he thinks he might know how to deal with that. But he's still working on it, and there's obviously no super pressing timetable. It's just something that he wants to work on, and whenever you guys are able to.
Okay. I guess I'll give Throwback a call then a couple days later. I'll give a little bit of time because I have a spell that I wanted to learn. I picked up a spell formula, and I have learned a spell. The spell is clairvoyance.
Ooh, it's a good one.
Yeah, I thought it might come in handy. So I'm going to give Throwback a call a couple days later.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, see, I was wondering, Z-Trip said that he had some potential work for us that might also involve finding out something about that friend of ours that went missing. Anyway, it should also involve Nguyen and stuff. I thought you might be interested.
I'm in.
Okay, sounds good. I'm not sure exactly when and where he wants to meet. Something about decrypting program codes and things like that.
Decrypting program codes and things like that. Okay.
Right. He has some information, and it's hidden behind the decrypted things.
A firewall.
I think he might need us to go fight them. I'm not sure.
He wants us to fight firewalls.
I didn't really understand most of what he was saying, but I think you might when you talk to him. So that's why I wanted to make sure you were in on this first. Payback seems to be kind of busy with some stuff. I haven't been able to kind of get his attention lately, so I'm going to leave him be for now. But I wanted to give Leroy a call as well. And I say, do you know, does that new girl sticking around, or is she going back to wherever it is she came from?
I think she's here to stay. She's really good at talking to people. She has weird taste in food, but it's actually kind of good. Have you ever eaten a dove before?
A dove? Isn't that who's it there down there that sells those? Donna, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're really pigeons, but they're pretty tasty.
It tastes better when they call them doves.
It's called Donna's Dubs.
Yeah, every now and again I'll pick one of them up. I haven't really been to the Horseshoe as often lately, though. I've been spending a lot of time over at Payday's place.
Oh, me and Wanda went over there just the other day. We're starting to put some feelers out, see who wants to buy that. You know what?
Oh, sweet. Hey, ask her if she wants to get involved in some of our other business. I mean,
I said, all right, hang on, and I mute the phone, and then I look to my left, and I said, Wanda, do you want to make money?
Yeah, what? This stuff is good.
Money good
I
too?
went and got another one. What? Money?
You want money?
Wait. You want me to find you another job, or we just found somebody for the cyber day?
Oh no, Stretch has a job.
Oh, I thought that was my job to find jobs. No, that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
He found a job, and then I think you're going to make sure we get the job with a lot of money.
Okay, yeah, I think I can do that. I'm feeling pretty good. This was a good trip.
Unmute the phone. We're in.
Okay, sounds good. I'll let you know the when and where, I guess. I'm going to try getting a hold of Leroy, and then I will hang up and give Leroy a call.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Leroy. It's Ulrich.
Yes.
So you know that guy Z-Trip?
You
You know, the Technomancer guy?
Yeah.
Mutual friend of Hailey's?
That other thing we did.
Sure, yep. So he's got another thing for us to do, and it might also involve finding out more about Hailey, but it should also involve Nguyen, and I wanted to know if you might be interested.
What time of day is it?
It's probably around a little bit before noon.
Yeah. I don't see anything I'm doing around here.
Okay, great. I'll let Z-Trip know that we're all ready then, and I'm not sure when it's going to be, so just sit tight or do whatever. But you want to go out for a barbecue or something later?
Sure. Let me find some pants.
So I guess I'll send Z-Trip a message letting him know that we're all set whenever he's got his thing for us, and I'll plan on meeting Leroy for lunch.
All right. I'm very tempted to give you, if it were in the middle of a run, refresh a point of edge for the Foley work.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I have no idea what Foley work means.
Sound effects.
I figured I got a 6-pack in the fridge. I might as well make use of it, right?
Creative use of it. Where are you guys going to eat for lunch?
I don't know. Does Ulrich suggest a place?
I guess just some barbecue place that's, cheap and all you can eat, but not, horrible cheap.
Do you know that we got essentially kicked out of that other place?
Yeah, so not that one. We'll do the
Okay,
one a
'cause
couple
I felt
blocks
like
over
that
that
would be-
way.
There's that other one you guys went to, Smokey's Pig Pit in the Olympia area.
How far
Sure.
away is that?
All right. Well, while you guys are out at lunch, Z-Trip shoots you a message back and says, "We can meet tonight if you'd like."
All right, I text back, sounds good, and I'll mess around with my comlink a little bit. Okay, succeed, no glitch. I managed to create essentially a little chat group that includes Z-Trip and all of us so that we can set up the meeting. Hey, I figured out how to do this on my comlink.
Elric, you invited another new person.
No.
Here,
This is
I'll kick him.
Z-Trip's our Johnson. For this, we're going to set up a meet for later. Ian's been showing me some computer stuff I can do.
Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's like one chat, but it works for as many people as I pull into it.
No, I know how a DNI works. I'm impressed you got one to work.
Oh, yeah, I got the trodes as well. I don't use them all the time, but...
You don't have to call them the trodes. They're just trodes.
It's a noun. I think the is perfectly applicable.
Suppose you're right.
Sure, well, my trodes.
Perfect. Hi, Z-Trip.
Hey, so you guys coming to meet with me tonight?
Yeah, we just need to know when and where.
If you want to, you can come meet at the Neon Discord location. I'm fine with you guys here.
Okay, see you then.
Otherwise, we keep them more neutral. It doesn't really matter to me.
I said, that's fine. What time?
Let's say tonight at 10 p.m. BYOB. And he puts a laughing emote in AR. Laughing and then a beer emoji. I imagine emojis in the 2070s are pretty awesome.
I'll send him back a whale emoji and then be like, yeah, I'll do you bring the red cups? Like you guys play Pong? I love that they now have like the AR ping pongs that are red and they match the cup and it makes me so awesome. But these customized one with my names on it.
We play with some pretty crazy house rules though.
Awesome. Well, it's not my house, so I'll obey by your rules. Haha.
Yeah, one of these nights we'll play by MIT&T rules.
What kind of place were we headed to that was a BYOB?
Just the Neon Discord headquarters location where they hang out. It's kind of overselling it to call it a headquarters, but
so it's just a bunch of like tech nerds.
Yeah,
Leroy. It's gang built.
Yeah,
gotcha. So 2 6-packs of the cheap shit beer.
All right. So you guys had to going over there? Any special preparations or no?
I make up a few alchemical preparations before and then take a little bit of a nap before heading over there, but nothing worth noting,
Okay.
just kind of standard stuff.
Okay.
I drink some better stuff so that I can use the crap stuff to maintain the buzz.
And Throwback will download some Sin-Sense for from some exotic beers and liquors. Bring those as a gift.
All right. So you guys head on over to a Neon Discord's hangout location. It's that kind of sort of, converted warehouse space in some old forgotten about part of the Olympia district south of downtown Columbia. Olympia's, the part of town that's kind of rough. There's some gang activity and stuff there. I think I've described it before as kind of like the Puyallup area of Seattle is a good analog. But you guys head in there. You've been there before. And the guy at the door, whose name I forget, recognizes Elric because he was there last time when Elric came during the day. And he says, "Hey, Elric."
Hey, what was his name? I had it on my notes that I'm missing.
I don't remember.
Okay, well, I say, hey, how's it going? And try to remember what his name is, but be vague about not remembering his name.
Yeah, I would have made up another name, but if you have a name, then I'll eventually get that from you.
Yeah, the page might turn up eventually. So I'll greet him. Hey, this is my crew. I think you've met most of them.
Hey, yeah, I did write it down. It's Echo. His name's Echo. Echo says,
Hey guys, this is Echo.
Hey guys, what's up?
Echo, it's Leroy, Throwback, Wada. She's new. You wouldn't have met her before, right? Have you met Throwback too? He's a Decker like you guys.
Echo laughs at that. Yeah. Hey, Decker. He gives the finger guns to Throwback.
Yeah, I kind of like raise an eyebrow suspiciously, but with kind of a smile.
Yeah, they're technomancers, so you should get along with them great. You guys do the same thing, right?
Echo
the same thing.
Echo smiles real big and says, "We get along with everybody here," and slaps Throwback on the back real hard.
All right, so we're here to meet Z-Trip. He should be expecting us.
Yep, I think he is. Go on back there. Hey, he points to Leroy's, fists full of beer, and he says, "Is that for the party?"
I'll look down at the one in one hand. It's like, yeah, and I'll offer it to him. Just the one though.
thanks. You can take it back to the fridge on the way or something.
I crack one of the other ones.
All right, so you guys head back. It's nighttime there is different than daytime is usually pretty quiet with some low, moody music going on. But at night, it's like lots of electronic music and lights and lots of bass and people having a good time. And yes, lots of colorful mohawks and some glow and lots of tattoos and stuff. You guys make it through. You know exactly where to go, and Z-Trip's waiting for you in his office, and he says, "Hey guys, come on in, close the door. It's kind of noisy out there."
Hey, you know most of these people, but I don't know. I'm not sure if you've met Throwback and also Wada. They're kind of new to the team. Well, not Throwback. He's been with us for a while, but ever since Hailey, he's been our Matrix support.
Right, I've heard of you, Throwback. You used to help out, or maybe still do help out Rudolph around the university, isn't that right?
Throwback nods. Rudolph's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And Wada.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I
like your hair.
I like your horns.
Yeah, she's the one who hooked us up with our recent intel that I shared with you about Hailey.
Oh yeah, that girl that we extracted. Yeah.
You picked a good one for. Hailey raised a lot of eyebrows. I'm sure this one here does her fair share as well.
Yeah, she kind of picked us, but so far I haven't known it very long, but it's been lucrative.
Yeah, what he said.
Anyway, she's going to do most of our talking for us. Right, Wada?
Oh, right. Yeah, so you have a job you want us to do, and we wanted to talk terms. I think we're all good for actually doing the job. It's just a matter of settling on, payment and contract and all that before, we go 100% on it.
Right. Payment. Okay. He sits down in his seat behind his desk that is sort of a desk, and moves some stuff around and opens a drawer and presses a button, and it closes the door, and you hear a click, and then the sound outside is significantly muffled, so it's a lot quieter in here now. And he says, "That's a lot better. That's a lot better."
Whiz, white noise.
Throw the empty bottle out, crack second bottle.
I'm going to go ahead and try out my nifty new spell of clairvoyance. I'm only going to cast it at a force 2, so hopefully it's not super noticeable. Actually, we'll go with force 3. Somebody does notice, I can explain it away.
All right, and where are you directing it at?
I got 3 hits. I'm going to kind of mostly keep it in the room, kind of above and around me, so I can see in the room here, but I'm essentially occasionally have it go out, kind of floating outside and see what's above outside the room, in the rooms just outside, just to kind of keep tabs on and make sure that we aren't getting raided or anything. I don't expect it to happen, but I've got the tool. I might as well use it now. I've got a range with my 3 hits of 18 meters.
All right. It's appropriate for Elric's tendency toward mild paranoia.
And as he's sustaining the spell, if you happen to notice that his eyes would be very faintly glowing, not likely to be all that noticeable in regular light, but...
What was the force of that spell?
Force 3.
Okay, I'm just going to check to see if I know it. I do not.
All right. Well, he says, okay, so about money, do we want to talk about what the deal is first, or do we want to talk about money first?
Elric said you want us to fight firewalls. I don't think that's right.
Yeah, we probably need to know details before we negotiate money. At least a few more. And she sideways looks at Elric.
I don't really know what the job entails. I just thought you said it had something to do with attacking with us taking out some decryption guys. I figured they were robots or something, or some sort of matrix things we're going to have to summon and defeat. I don't really know how your stuff works.
He kind of chuckles a little bit and says, yeah, so where do I start? Okay, so you guys remember that data you got from me last month?
Elric nods. But maybe we should fill Wada in.
I don't. You've got me in a slightly uncomfortable position. I don't know how much you have or want to fill her in. I don't want to presume. So why don't you guys get her up to speed?
I kind of turned back to Leroy and, hey, do we want to just fill her in and everything? I mean, it's kind of seemed, I didn't really think much about holding anything back from her. I mean, she's working with us, right? What do you think? You've been doing this for a long time.
Just kind of shrug and take a drink.
Throwback, what do you think? Should we full disclosure on this? I don't see why not.
Thorek will turn and like look at Wada, and like then look back at Elric, and look back at Wada, and look back at Elric. Yeah, she's one of us.
All right. I look over at Wada. I guess we trust you.
Hey, I thought you already did trust me.
I guess.
Cool.
I mean, I did. I just didn't know if everyone was okay with it. So sure. So yeah, anything you say in front of us, you could say in front of Wada.
All right. Then 100-meter overview. Here is these guys were hooked up with this girl named Hailey, and she was a young person who had some amnesia. They didn't know about that until close to the end of their tenure with her. She disappeared, and it's kind of under mysterious conditions. Their friend, our friend Rudolph, seems to be involved with that somehow, and they all have been trying to find out what happened there, since it seemed to be sudden and mysterious, and Rudolph is definitely implicated somehow. I gave them a conversation between the two, me and Rudolph, that sort of implicated that anyway, or it seemed to. I don't know about the disappearance itself. Didn't you? No, I don't know.
Yeah, the recent info dump that we just got from Wada as part of this last job.
That's right. You said that.
That's what I shared with you a couple days ago.
You were the one he was talking about. He's pointing to Wada. That we're on that part of the team that Rudolph hired to get her out of town. Isn't that right?
Yeah. We picked her up and we dropped her off with somebody. Yeah.
Right. And the Decker on that team said that he recognized her, thought she was as some birthday girl or something from some politician's birthday party.
Yeah, like she's a senator's daughter or something.
Right. Okay. All right. So we're caught up. So you remember the date I had you get. Throwback, you were involved in that too. I remember. That's where we met. So I wasn't entirely truthful regarding the content of the data that I had you get for me. So it didn't contain the stuff I said it was going to contain. I happen to know from, like a friend of a person who I paid to get me some info, that there was some hidden research data attached to that file, which has something to do with Hailey. So I don't know what that data is yet. I know that she's somehow connected to Blue Data, and that this data file involves her somehow, like I said. But I've been trying to crack the file, but for ghost's sake, I can't seem to break through this encryption algorithm. And I'm pretty good at this kind of stuff. I've been working on it.
Hold on. So Throwback, can you explain to what degree Z-Trip was dishonest with us and whether or not we should care?
Throwback looked a little red in the face since he started to talk, but like he'll kind of shake loose of that trance and like look over at Elric. It's okay. I mean, he wanted this specific file. He just didn't tell you what was in it. It's still the same work. Doesn't sound risky. I mean, unless Hailey is super important, like, on like a big scale.
Okay, good. I really didn't know what that meant, and whether or not it should be something I should be upset about. So thank you. Sorry, carry on, Z-Trip. I'm glad Leroy doesn't have to kill you now. I give him a little bit of a smile that hopefully suggests that I'm joking, but
he looks a little uncomfortable at first, and then when you smile, he kind of like chuckles, like.
I do that like tilt the beer thing at him, like and then crack open the third one.
Okay.
So there's an encryption on there that you can't get past?
Yeah, man. I've never seen anything like it before. I mean, it's crazy. It's some kind of like proprietary something or other that I don't know how they do it.
Oh no, is it set to blow?
No. No. I checked that. That's rookie stuff, Throwback.
He just puts up his palm. You never know with, you people. Sometimes you guys just sort of skip.
I'm going to stop you before you go far enough where I can't pretend that you're joking. As you can guess, I need this stuff decrypted, and I might be able to do it faster with your help. Not in the way that you might be thinking, otherwise I'd just be having Elric get me in touch with Throwback. This stuff, here's the deal. I've had this cool idea turning over in the back of my head for a while about a way to sort of hack servers using some pretty wild over-the-air visual techniques. All it requires is this camera and a machine infected with a particularly clever, if I do say so myself, virus. You following me? Throwback?
Throwback nods, although he has kind of a furrowed brow as if he's focusing hard so that he doesn't slip up.
All right, so I could go into the details about how it works. And maybe I will. You see, so pretty much every computer, machine, device, whatever, has lights on it, right? Blinky lights, right?
Lights. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a thing that you see all the time. Well,
I knew those were important for something.
Well,
all right, go on.
Yes. So, a little light has two states, right? And he's hoping that Throwback will he's kind of
yeah,
what do you call it?
On and off. What's the point?
Yes, on and off. And what does a dual state system have in common with computer algorithms?
They both exist in the physical and the astral.
No.
we both look at that.
No, wait, that can't be true. Sorry. Go on.
I'm hinting at binary, right? Binary is kind of on and off, right? So
sure.
Anyway, I'm right. Theoretically, you can transmit any sort of information you want with binary signals. Okay. So what if you could control the lights on those machines? You could get those lights to send any old message you want.
Like Morse code?
Sort of.
You want to control the lights and have it unlock itself?
Not exactly. So what I'm getting at here is now, what if you could get these lights to blink in any way that corresponds to the data on the machine itself? Binary, right? And what if you could do it on a fast enough frequency that only a specialized camera could detect it? Then you could scrape information off of that machine that pertains to what is happening on the inside while it's actively being used. He's got his eyebrows up, this is supposed to be a mind-blowing thing that he said, and he's just
you're
waiting.
Talking about doing the Morse code so fast that normal eyes can't see it, but only a special camera that's trained to look for the changes in light would see it, but anyone else would just see the lights as normal, right?
Exactly.
I don't get what that would help with.
All right, so what's the big deal, right? Okay. So what you can do is you can do that by hacking into a system, and the encryption for this little file here the encryption is being applied on site inside a very secure research lab. Standard stuff, Faraday, protected, yada, yada, whatever. So no matter how we go about finding about the encryption, it's going to have to be discovered inside the lab because that's where it's applied. And then if it ever leaves, it's already got the encryption on it before it leaves. My thought is that if we could get in there and infect those machines with this virus that I've already got that can do this is a side project I was working on a while ago. Just thought it might be useful one day. Then we could set up a camera to observe while the encryption is being applied to other files, and we can just have the encryption algorithm live stream to us while it's being applied.
It'll literally tell us exactly what we need to know.
So it's basically like we're placing a complicated bug.
Exactly. It's you're watching the encryption. If you can see the math, let me put it this way, Elric. If you do a complicated series of math problems on a calculator and all you have is the number at the end, it's hard to know what kind of addition, subtraction, division was done to get there. But if you could watch the person pressing the buttons while they're using the calculator, you know exactly what they did to get there.
Right. I think I get the analogy.
So where do we come in?
Well, someone has to get in there, infect the machines, set up a camera, and find a way for it to be broadcast out of a very highly secure facility.
Is it that one we broke into before?
No, it's next door. It's way more secure than that place. He says, and then realizes after the fact that maybe that wasn't always obvious to you because he kind of thought it might have been.
Yeah, Water just raises one eyebrow.
That place had dogs.
Also guards with guns. I remember them shooting at us. I almost got shot, but we did pretty good until someone tripped the alarm and made a bunch of noise.
I mean, you did great. You got me what I needed, and nobody got hurt, right?
I don't think I killed anybody.
None of us did. I feel like somebody shot a dog.
Well, great. So, on that, let's talk payment. What are you offering? Because I think I've got a number in my head.
Well, what number would that be?
Oh, I mean, just based on like sort of what we got paid last time, I think an easy like 15K each.
Ugh. Well, that is a little bit higher than I think I was going to be able to afford.
Hey, we're a professional team now getting a rep, all right? And you cannot get us cheap.
Yeah, I heard you guys went down to Charleston recently.
Oh yeah, and like into like this crazy storm, and we kicked ass at that. There were grenades and nets and everything.
Impressive. Then hopefully, if there's grenades and nets again, you already know how to deal with it. He's like struggling to figure out how to respond to that.
There were grenades and nets and everything.
Yeah, and not to mention the big man. Never mind.
I was honestly thinking that I would be able to get away with like 10,000 each.
Oh, no way. These guys are easily worth 14.
All right.
Plus,
Do your thing.
We'll do it per person. So, you know, if somebody doesn't come back, you get to keep that money.
Wait, what?
Don't worry about it. If you're dead, you won't care.
If I did.
All right. He says, okay. So when I said 10,000, I really was saying that that's, you know, what I can pull off, but I guess I might be able to get away with like, I mean, this does have to do with something that I know you guys really want. What about 11? I can go up to 11.
That's a lot of money. I whisper to Watt.
I'll look at thumbs and comlink. I'll make my computer check.
And what is like clearly like doing math or
Critical glitch. All I was trying to do was send a private text message to the group that yes, it sounds good to me. But yeah,
You data spike the technomancer.
I have gremlins of 2, which means I have to essentially make computer tests for doing basic stuff sometimes. And this time I rolled 3 1s and 3 2s. It would be critical glitch even without my quality.
So suddenly, while you guys are in the middle of like careful negotiation, and Wada's doing math in her head, trying to figure it out, and suddenly, Elric's comlink starts playing like the most recent, like number one charts, top of the charts pop song, and on full volume.
Oh, whoa! What's it doing?
Elric,
What's
not
it doing?
the time.
No, don't buy. How did it open the Horizon music player?
I didn't know you were into troll butts and you couldn't lie.
I mean, I kind of shrug and then it just turned a bit red. I just had to kind of look down and hand my comlink over to throwback.
Yeah, I'm fumbling around looking for the off switch.
Water like turns back to Z-Trip. All right, how about this? We do 44K total, which would be 11 apiece. And yeah, so we just give us a lump sum of 44. And that way, if, you know, we can divide that up as we like.
He's got like one finger in his ear, you know, scratching after all the loud music, and he says, "Yeah, okay, 11 times whatever, I'll give you that. Yeah, sure."
Perfect.
Out of character, I'm trying to allow room for payday to be there too.
Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry. Wait a minute, I mathed wrong. No, that'd be 55. 55 total, 11 apiece, but we get the lump sum and we divide it our way. I got you guys, don't
he's
worry.
kind of still hitting the side of his head, and he says, "Yeah, 55, 11 times." I mean, I assumed.
Yeah, I
said
forgot
that,
the
right?
short one. Yeah, the short one. We don't have to pay his girlfriend too, right?
He has a girlfriend?
Yeah, like the Matrix chick who's real cool.
Oh, her, yeah.
We should probably start paying her.
We probably should start paying her. Yeah.
And she's more of his daughter than his girlfriend.
At least buy something. Oh, that's weird. We could at least buy her something nice. Yeah, 55 lump sum. That's what we want.
Okay. I'll make it work.
Should we be cutting Eon in for a share?
I'm not paying Eon.
I mean, she's not really human, but though, I mean, well, that was rude. No, that was so
You're not
PC
human.
right now. I'm human-ish, humanoid. They aren't, but I guess some people do recognize them as people. So yeah, we'll at least get her something nice. We'll get her like some like perfumes or something, or a new dress or something.
If my
By the way,
fault
Wada,
strikes just don't get paid, that agent thing is not getting paid.
By the way, Wada, over the course of the last 4 or 5 days since the run, she's been asking me every day when you're going to come take her shopping.
Yes, I am free now. We will do that.
Yeah, she was bound.
Yeah, well, I just want to make sure you don't forget, because because she was pretty excited about it.
100%. We'll definitely we'll definitely take her shopping. We'll fix that up. We'll just take it out of payday share.
Or look up at the Johnson, like, does your Vault Sprite want a new outfit?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Sorry, and I hand Elric back his phone, which is now off.
Hey, so we got the money thing figured out, right? So anything else we need then? You have the plan all worked out, how we're gonna get in and what we're gonna do there, or is that our job?
I think that's what I'm paying you 55,000 new yen for.
Yeah, well, it's your techno system though. I mean, Throwback, do you understand how to use his gizmos?
Yeah. So that's a good point. I will give you the virus that you're going to have to implant on the system. Yeah. Also, he opens the drawer and pulls out. It's a small, very, very small, like micro camera. Very, very small. And he says, "This is the camera. It's been designed with some software on the hardware to interpret. To be able to. It's a very fast camera, so it can detect all that. As long as that can be transmitted, that's the only thing that you're going to have to. That's one of the things that you're going to have to worry about. Is not only do you have to get in there and implant it, but you're going to have to find a way for that to be able to be transmitted out. Probably
transmitted, like to be seen. It's like line of sight light.
So somehow the recording of the light, this machine, this server, this whatever, somehow the recording of that from this camera has to get to me, whether it's being done streamed to me live somehow. It can be recorded. I can receive that in a recording, but that would, again, you're going to have to get it. So you're going to have to figure out how you're going to do that.
Streaming's too risky, but I got an idea.
Wide-eyed, he kind of shakes his head. Throwback, so you know what this means, right?
Yeah, Throwback looks like he's kind of lost in thought, but he kind of just gives you a nod and a thumbs up.
You can make it clear to the rest of us who don't understand the computer stuff what we need to be able to do to help.
Be easy peasy.
Then do we have a deal?
I think so. I look at Wada. Like, did we make a deal?
He is extending his hand.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's got this cool new comlink. And that song is kind of stuck in my head.
Good job, Wada, I say. You got us like an extra 1,000 new yen each.
Yeah. It'd be nice if you waited until you left to gloat about that.
Yeah, I think that is proper etiquette. I don't know that he knows etiquette, but we're working on that.
Hailey was teaching me some.
Yeah,
let's just say it's a good thing we're all friendly here. So,
oh, come on, Z-Trip. You know we're buddies, but business is business and all. Just let me know whenever you want me to get to work on those wards for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get in touch with you about that soon.
Throwback looks back towards the door, like, so party?
Are we good, Throwback? Do you have all the techno?
Yeah, I'll grab the camera, I assume, as the handshake happened, and carefully put that away with my equipment, and you'll send me the virus, right? I mean, contained, obviously. Don't give me a virus.
Yeah, he I assume you're in AR most of the time.
Yeah, I gotta do it, Jeff.
Yeah, he kind of wiggles his fingers and conjures up like a little floaty box. It's very small, fits between his 3 fingers, and he hands it over to you in AR.
I kind of shake my head, but I'm kind of laughing at the same time, and show off and take the file.
He goes, "Hey, that you're the first person I've given that to. Don't go spreading that around. My mark's all over it, okay?"
Don't worry. It's not coming out until it's going in.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you guys are going to be best friends, aren't you?
Just look at Elric.
Enjoy yourself on the way out.
Thanks, Z-Trip.
No problem,
I visibly wince when the door is open and that loud blast of music is like,
Yeah, as we start heading towards the door, I'm gonna just sort of walk along or roll along next to Leroy. Wasn't all that cheap, crappy beer for them? Did you just drink it all?
I lift up the 6-pack to see that there's 2 left. Not all of it.
Whiz.
He did say BYOB, didn't he?
That's a good point.
All right, so what is this place, and what exactly do we need to do? Can you boil it down to non-technical things we have to accomplish?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Are we starting again?
Oh,
yes.
Sorry. We should also determine where we're going to meet, or where we're going to discuss our plans.
Let's get one of those fancy private booths here. I just paid the jukebox. It's going to play your favorite song 20 times in a row.
Did you guys go somewhere after you Neon Discord?
I don't
That's
think
a
so. I
weird
think we're
interpretation.
discussing. I think
Not-
that's
Not yet. But if you just played the same song 20 times in a row, I think that's all the more reason to leave.
yeah. Well, let's get out of here. I don't want everyone to hear that song again. Please don't make my comlink do that. Did you do that on purpose? Was that some sort of a virus you had put in my comlink?
I wish it was. Don't touch anything that I own.
I'm just saying, if it was, you should totally take credit for it because it was super funny and everything. But
It,
just
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I just like hold up my hand. There's something wrong with you. You made somebody mad. That's all I know.
What is that? A hickey?
No, devil rat.
I think
Ulrich-
throwback also at the same time says Devil Rat.
Ulrich looks up at kind of Wada and then kind of looks over at Throwback. So were you two?
Yeah, both of them saying Devil Rat at the same time probably sounds a bit suspicious.
I mean, never mind. It's none of my business. Sorry.
The throwback just kind of looks up at you like a little puzzled.
Right. So we got a place to go plan this stuff, Leroy. Can we go to your safe house thing?
Yeah, I got a place we can go, and I'll give them the geo point for the bar that I usually go to.
All right. We'll head over there then.
All right, you guys are headed to the Wig, across the street from the State House in downtown Columbia, just a couple blocks walking distance from the Horseshoe where you guys either all live or hang out. When you get to the Wig, how are you guys getting there?
I've got my car.
I got a bike.
I guess Elric's been taking cabs.
Or
the
he's been
bus.
taking Coco taxis.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Coco taxi.
How does Wada get there?
Oh, well, I've been riding with Throwback like all day, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I still don't know where my bike is.
Okay. Well, you guys head there. It takes a little while for Throwback's van or truck, or it's a van, right?
SUV.
Yeah, his SUV. You guys get caught in some traffic. You guys get there a little bit later, and you have to park a couple blocks away. And as you're walking, the two of you going down the street, somebody starts to walk up to you guys, and you hear him say, "I knew it. I knew my friend said that she hangs out here. I knew it."
They're gonna look like, what the heck's his problem?
And he's walking with his friend, and he's kind of he's a younger looking guy. He's got like a leather jacket on, and it's got some studs on, and he's got this like whatever is a very hip kind of chic looking punk look. He's trying to like he's definitely trying to look cool. And he hands his comlink to his friend, and he says, "Here, turn it on, record this." And he walks up to Wada, and he says, "I hear your tough stuff around here, demon." He doesn't fumble like I did.
Oh God, I don't need this right now.
Do you know this guy?
No.
You're gonna know me once I get through with you.
Look, can we not? Can we reschedule this for later?
This is happening right now, right here, right now.
I don't even have my bow. You actually gonna make me like fist fight you? I'm not very good at that.
He goes, "I didn't say nothing about no fist fight." And he pulls out what looks like might be a taser.
All right, and then water just flips off the tip of her finger, so the monofilament whip uncoils.
Well,
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, Throwback like takes like goes back just like a few feet. Like, oh my god, what's going on?
So
are you
who's around
Are you
during-
doing that to attempt to surprise him, or are you just entering combat?
Just readying myself for combat.
All right,
Are
well then
all
go
of
ahead and
us
roll.
here.
No, just a Throwback and Wada and this guy and his buddy.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
This walking corpse.
I'm gonna be famous. I'll focus on making sure I'm in the shot.
All right, what'd you get?
22.
Well, needless to say, you're going first. Are you engaging him with, or are you waiting for me, or are you not pushing to talk, or?
Sorry. Yes, sorry. I would like to do a called shot on the taser. My intention is to just try to cut it in half.
Okay, we can call that like a knockout of hands if you want. It's a monofilament whip, so it would probably have the end result of slicing it in half.
3 hits. Just try to do a quick flip of my finger.
Well, he manages to like barely dodge. He's like, "Oh God!" And he he manages to barely get his gun out of the way just in time, or
I
taser.
really don't have time for this. Can we schedule later?
All right, so roll your reaction plus. Yeah.
I did have 2 points of reach. I don't know what his whole thing was.
Oh, 2 points of reach. That reduces his dice pool.
I believe it reduces his defense pool by 2. I think reach always applies to defense.
I think you're right about that. All right, well that changes things a little bit. He barely made it, so I say with the reach, you were able to get the taser, and he's wide-eyed, and it definitely gets part of it, like a small part of it, but either way, it renders it difficult to use. Even if it was usable after doing that, he sees that happened, and he drops it, and he's going to try to quick draw. And he does manage to get one out. He pulls out a pistol real quick, as fast as he can, and lets out a shot from that. So unable to aim or anything like that because he just quick drew it. But
So I don't need to do any defense. He wasn't able to get a shot off.
No, he did. He just didn't take aim or anything.
yeah, he got a shot.
Oh, all right. I full defense and get 3.
And he misses. So it's your turn again. Unless Throwback is trying to do stuff.
Throwback's definitely surprised for at least this first combat turn.
I'm going to close the gap again so that I'm in melee, so he takes penalties. And I will again try to call shot this weapon, whatever it happens to be. 30 hits. Don't make me hurt you, please. I don't want to do that. I've had such a long day.
Is it -1 for being in melee with a ranged attack?
Oh, well, he gets a -2 to his defense for my reach, and then it's a -2 or 3.
The modifiers in these charts are laid out stupid.
Shots fired.
I can never find what I'm looking for anytime that I'm trying to find it.
Suggesting we should make a new chart that lists out where all of the other information can be found in other charts.
Yes.
It is a -3 for him to fire if he's in melee range with me.
Oh,
It's a
jeez.
-2 to defense based on my reach.
Well, he's not going to shoot it at you. He's going to try to hit you with it. Oh, but you're attacking him. You've already attacked him, right? Am I rolling? I forgot where I am. Am I rolling defense?
Okay, it was my turn, and I need you to roll defense at a -2.
And got
So I'm
less
trying
than
to
3
do another
hits.
shot at his weapon.
All right. He does manage to dodge that somehow, and he's going to try to hit you with the gun. So defend.
Ooh, okay, got it.
How many?
5.
Oh man, he just barely like whiffs your. I don't know. Do you have hair? You don't have hair, do you?
I have hair.
Oh, just kidding.
It's glorious and mohawkish.
Well, it gets he gets to feel its splendor as his hand goes through it, and while you're dodging. And I think you have another turn before we roll initiative again.
Yeah, can we just call this good? And I'm gonna slash at his weapon. 5 hits.
Oh yeah, you definitely grab that gun, and he drops it, and it's almost in pieces, or it probably is, and he drops it, and yeah, roll initiative. He's now lost 2 weapons to your terrifying monofilament whip.
Better than fingers.
14 this time. 14.
All right, it's your turn.
He's not holding a weapon anymore?
Nope.
All right. I'm going to default some intimidation. Could I get any modifiers with this?
Oh geez, I'm sure you can get something. Let's say at this point, I'd say you're pretty physically imposing. Let's give you a +3.
Perfect. 3 versus his charisma and willpower. I really don't want to hurt you. This is already costing you a lot of money as you're dropping all the weapons. Like, could we just call this good? And maybe you go train up a little bit and come back, and then I don't have to kill you.
He kind of like backs up as it looks on the ground at his weapons that are kind of broken, and he's looking at the whip that came out of your finger. Totally caught him off guard. He turns around to his friend and he says, "Yeah, turn that thing off!" And he like snatches it from him and runs.
Throwback will shout out, "I got it!" And I'd like to data spike the comlink.
Thank you. I do appreciate it. You're awesome, by the way.
And he's just running, and I'll just give it to you. His comlink is taken care of.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
slowly
it just kind of
start,
pops in his hand.
I'm gonna slowly start winding up the whip back into my finger and sticking the fingertip back on the end of it.
Does that hurt?
No, it's not real.
Oh, the whip or the finger?
The finger. Who
Right.
has hollow fingers? That'd be weird.
You've made some weird friends.
Yeah, I kind of was famous once, and this made me a target because I look like this, and we're in the cast, and I don't know if you've noticed, like Onis aren't real big here.
No, you're the first, I think.
Speaking of, there are some people who are shocked and had watched, and one of them had pulled out his comlink and then saw the sparking, smoking comlink of the other guy, and then he like slowly puts it back into his
Oh
pocket.
no, you can take a picture, like, and it's really cool. And she's like gonna put one arm around throwback shoulders, and then like another one do like a V sign, like a victory, like
He's and then he looks around and says, "Really? You're not gonna my comlink will be okay?"
Oh yeah, right. Come on. She like taps throwback on like one shoulder.
I'm like trying to like look away, like I've got my head sort of down, so I'm not facing it. But like as she kind of continues, I mean, okay, one, I guess, and like I'll like half turn towards it.
And he snaps a quick picture and then kind of runs off.
We should probably go.
Oh, and as he snaps the picture and he runs off, he like quickly turns back around and says, "You were great 2 seasons ago," and then runs back.
Thanks.
What did you do?
Huh?
What's he mean?
Oh, like that. Like I used. No wait. Booker says I'm not supposed to talk about it. Like anything I used to do. Like I do this now. So.
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. I'm gonna immediately start doing a matrix search to figure out who she is. But like I'll just sort of put it on the back burner, so it'll take a while to get the results. But like it's fine. You don't have to tell us. We trust you anyways. But I'm instantly doing like a deep dive facial recognition search for it.
I mean, you have the keywords, right? Season 2.
Well, 2 seasons ago, I think is what he's. Or on season 2. I don't know. I'll have to search both now. I forgot which one.
You would call that limited interest, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd say you can probably get that by the end of your hanging out here at the bar. What kind of information would he find, Wada?
Like I was a big up and comer for a minute, like in Jamaica, and then I got transferred, and I kind of fell off and disappeared. I was supposed to be like the star of like Evo Combat League.
That's so cool.
That's so that's what you get. That's what Throwback and Throwback only is aware of right now.
He's just gonna spend as much time as it takes sort of just digesting that.
So anybody who pays close attention during your guys' hanging out and planning here might notice that Throwback is a little preoccupied. I think he said he was just kind of slowly looking this information up, and so if he's not actively being talked to, he might be like, you might see that he's got that far up stare where he's checking out other stuff.
This just fits into our theory that we have working, because he's probably going to be doing it while looking towards Wada. So, like,
Right.
gotta get that facial recognition, and he gets that dreamy eye look.
Yeah, you guys just see me staring at Wada. Just, yep, totally.
All right. So, the rest of you guys have probably already gotten like a table over off in the corner. There is that, if you guys care to pay 50 new yen, there is that private room, because this is a known Shadowrunner bar among Shadowrunners, and they do have that private room you can rent. That is if you remember, the Wig, which is the bar, used to be way back in the early 20th century, was an old bank that went out of business and got shut down, and is now was converted into a bar, and they have a private room that was the old bank vault.
I'll offer to cover the 50 new yen for the private room.
I buy a pitcher of beer and don't offer it to anybody.
All right, so you guys are in the bank vault room. It's outfitted, with the appropriate accoutrement to be reasonably silent.
It's kind of cool. We're actually like in the bank vault.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. Throwback will say as he gets in. Think of how much money was here.
Sweet place, Leroy.
You guys have all been there before. This is your typical place that you go and hang out.
No, I'm not that impressed then.
You might not have been. I don't think you've been in the vault room though.
All right, then I am that impressed. All right, what did we need to talk about?
So I guess we need to plan this run, huh? So what is this place like? What do we need to do to make the techno things work?
Need to find this terminal and then plug in.
So we need to get you to a terminal and you can plug in?
Maybe. If it's like the last one, yeah.
And where is this terminal going to be?
I think your guy said R&D. So probably like basement, scary, maybe behind a big door.
But the answer is we don't know exactly.
Right.
All right, Leroy, what's your assessment?
He's just gonna kind of pick up the camera if you brought it in,
Yeah, I probably set it on the table so that you guys can also.
and just kind of like, does it look like just a camera off a shelf or something?
Give me
Whoa! I don't know about rolling dice here, sir.
Yeah, you need to give me like an agility roll, maybe. You've had a decent amount to drink tonight, and you're holding something very tiny.
Just breaks our one of a kind camera.
Just roll agility, no like defaulting on it or
Sure. If you've got an appropriate skill for handling tiny items, like a jeweler's skill.
Oh, Leroy is skilled in handling tiny items.
I'll just let you have that one. I have palming.
No.
I can just go roll agility. That's fine.
Yeah, just roll agility.
I got one.
Okay, that's enough.
Cool. Does it look like just a regular run-of-the-mill camera, or does it look like, wires and steampunk stuff sticking out of it?
No, it looks like just basically a tiny camera. It looks like just a little sensor that you would typically that you've probably worked with before. It's nothing super special. It's just he has told you that he needs this one because he's got some software loaded on it that can handle the speeds at which the light is going to be, the frequency that it's going to be blinking at.
Does that thing have a data port on it, Leroy? Somewhere to plug into?
Oh, well, yeah. So, yeah. Well, long story short, without me having to give you like an actual physical description, it's got probably like a little wire attached to it that could allow you to either transmit wirelessly or connect, like a universal data port to it. So you could run a line from it if you needed to.
Okay.
So it looks just like a normal camera?
Yeah, he said it'll run in a high frequency, capture all the blinking so that we can decrypt it, or it can tell us how to decrypt itself.
Okay, so can you tell me what it is I'd be looking for?
A computer.
Yes, it looks like what? I mean, computers can take a lot of forms, right? What kind of computer? Any details you can give me?
Oh, yeah. Z-Trip said this one here, and I'll rattle off the ID number of the terminal and R&D that we need.
Can you give me a picture of what model it would be, maybe, so I would visually know what I'm looking at if I saw one?
I don't know. Is that anything I could do, Bobby? Does this ID terminal have any type of resemblance to a COM or anything?
No, the terminal number is pretty much, it's an internal number that's used by the corporation. You'll
know it when you see it. You'll have to have your trodes on, and it should be attached to the terminal itself. It'll be plastered over it.
You see, I've recently I've been doing research on different magic that would be useful for accomplishing things that might get us out of situations, or might not get us into situations where I have to turn a person into a pile of ashes. So I've learned a spell called clairvoyance. It allows me to see up to maybe 36 meters away from me if it goes off well. And basically imagine having a drone that can just transmit visual information, but it can pass through walls and can go up to 36 meters away from a given point and see what's there, but visual information only. That's kind of what I can do magically. It's like a magic eye drone spell. It seemed like it would be really convenient. I also have another spell that allows me to, when I go in somewhere, I could basically get a map of the place and find out what's there. It doesn't tell me what people are where, but I figured between that and clairvoyance, I might be able to do some really useful scouting. The only problem is if there's any wards anywhere, it's going to block my sight in this way. And I imagine they're going to have some wards somewhere at least. Also, maybe spirits wandering around looking for people casting spells. And this is something that I have to get myself within, a few meters of it to work.
If you can get us a layout of the building once we get inside, I mean, that could save tipping our hand and having me get caught trying to track something like that down on the host.
I'd feel much better about going into this place if we knew exactly where we were going instead of having to search the building. Also, here's the thing about my mapping spell. It only works as long as I keep concentrating on the spell. Once I let go of it, like if I have to take a nap or go unconscious or something, it goes away, and it doesn't exactly turn it into a data file, if you know what I mean. If you got ideas on how I might be able to pull that off, I'd be happy to work on that for you, though. That'd be neat to pull off. I don't know if it's possible, though.
I don't know anything about magic, but we could think of something.
But anyway, I should be able to tell what's where if I can get on site. But security's going to be pretty tight there, so I'd have to get close.
Yeah, your friend said this place was even more protected than the last one, and we didn't exactly make it out of there without anybody finding out.
I kind of wave the camera around lackadaisically. So what makes this one special?
Throwback's gonna reach out a hand and try to carefully take it from you while you kind of respond. Says, one of a kind.
Z-Trip put some sort of special technomancer enchantment on it.
I arch an eyebrow at Elric and then look to Throwback because clearly he knows more about this stuff than he does.
I mean, I understand that's not the technical explanation, and it's a kind of a mystical analogy to lay it down, but really, that's all you need to know, right?
Which way was it, Bobby? Was the camera special because of Technomancer stuff, or is the virus special because of Technomancer stuff?
He didn't say anything was special because of Technomancer stuff. He just said that he made a virus and that he's also got this camera with software that just makes it able to handle the high frequency input.
Okay, so I'll say, yeah. I mean, he's just a really smart guy. I think it's just high tech, probably very expensive. He probably wants it back.
And just furrow my brow. He doesn't want us back. He wants us to leave it there.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Hopefully, he doesn't want it back.
So just kind of did you put it back on the table, or you got it in your hands?
Yeah, I just very, very gingerly set it back on the table, probably on a small pile of napkins that I had pulled up.
Sure. So I'll just kind of reach over and kind of thumb my finger on it, tapping. If we can get what's in here into what's in there, we don't even need to put this in there.
Kind of. It'd be easier to transmit the data from a device like this that we own than having to rely on their equipment. I was thinking of just a simple reformat, and we'll have this thing transmit data every, 6 hours. Just a real quick spurt. They won't even notice it's happening unless they're looking right in the moment that it's happening.
Right, but we're still leaving our camera there. Why don't we just use their cameras?
I'll buy you a camera. Have you spent all your money?
No.
Complicated stuff. I mean, it's got its technical things, and let's let Throwback figure out that stuff. Throwback, though, if there is a way for us to do this without having to put ourselves in as much danger, by all means, let us know. I mean, if Leroy is onto something here, if he's got an idea that is worth looking into, by all means, check it out. But I don't know what we have to do to make the thing work. I just don't understand how it exactly.
Yeah, Rob's idea is to find out the fancy camera tricks and just use their security cameras.
Yeah, I figured that's what you had in mind.
And Elric doesn't really understand that far, actually. He knows something about getting the computer to send us Morse code messages out because it has a virus that makes it do it, but he really doesn't have any understanding on how that's actually going to function or work.
It relies on there relies on there being a camera in R&D, one that is seeing the terminal's light array, being able to manipulate that camera, which for all I know means physically going to it and busting out a hardware kit to change its lens or anything about it. if we're lucky, maybe that's something that can be done in the Matrix. If this place is even in the Matrix, if the camera is even on the Matrix, if the terminal's then on the Matrix to upload the virus. Do you see where I'm going with this?
No, really, all it means to me is that we need to get you into the place that's protected so you can do your thing, that is your technological thingy, and then we need to get out without dying.
Just so that you're clear, it sounds like Throwback already understands this, but I want to make sure that Todd, you do that Throwback would definitely, with his experience with hardware and software especially, would understand that this is definitely more of a hardware thing with some firmware type stuff. Like it's not like a software that could be
uploaded into a camera. No, we'd have to get my hands into a camera to change it, which is something that Z-Trip has already done for us with this camera.
Right. If the hardware of that camera can even handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll just tap where
like a super fancy camera. So
you were a little muffled there. What about the camera?
It was like, I looked at it and stuff. It wasn't like a super fancy camera. It's just a.
Yeah, so the Throwback will spend a few minutes trying to explain to you, like, it doesn't look super fancy, but whatever he's got cooking on the inside is pretty awesome. That's not going to be what's in a run-of-the-mill security cam.
Right, but like the software's not there, but we can put the software there. That's what I'm saying.
Out of character, so that we don't spend too much time on that detail. You'll have to get this camera in there.
MacGuffin, got it.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we know about this building and what's there and what kind of protections they have? How big is it?
Let me take a look. I'll do a matrix search, or excuse me, a matrix perception. He said it was next door to the last place we went, so if he meant that literally, I will just quickly have my persona go fly over to that host, where I'm pretty sure I know where that is, and see if I can find this host nearby.
Yes, you can. There is another host nearby that they have as a part of the Blue Data campus is made up of two parts. There's one that you guys have already been to, and the other part which is actually gated in and more secured than the other place that you went to. It's actually a tower. But you found that any extra information that you're going to want to know about it, you'll have to do the work.
Okay. I'd like to know its array and its rating, so I guess I'll go ahead and roll matrix perceptions to get that. I got 6 hits on the first matrix perception.
So matrix perception, let's see, and you're trying to find that info about the host. So I'm stalling while I look up what I defend with logic and sleaze. So host rating and sleaze, right?
Yep.
And how many hits did you get?
I have 6.
All right. And is it every net hit or every 2 net hits that you get to ask a question?
2. Or I'm sorry, it's matrix perception. Apologies, it's 1.
Yep.
All right. Well, you got 4 net hits, so you can ask a couple of things.
Okay. I would like to know the host's firewall, sleaze, and data processing.
Firewall 8, data processing 7, sleaze 5. You have one more question. If a clever Decker has already figured out the host rating.
Yeah, that's why I only needed to ask 3 of them. What's the host look like?
It's a very kind of like monolithic host. It's Blue Data in general designs their host to look very like they're in the business of securing data, and they have a history of surviving 2 matrix crashes without losing the integrity of their data. And so they have since taken advantage of that perception of them, and they definitely want to look strong and secure. So it's definitely like a Fort Knox looking sort of facility that you're looking at for this host. And that's how they design the external of their hosts.
You said they survived 2 matrix crashes?
Yes. And
that's got to mean that they operate offline frequently.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation, and this is public knowledge. That's why I'm just freely giving it to you. I think I mentioned some of this the first time that you guys went into here. There's a lot of speculation as to how they survived both matrix crashes. There's a lot of conspiracy theories and
Maybe
lots
they
of
caused
stuff.
it so they knew it was coming.
And so lots of people have lots of opinions. They publicly claim that it was their due diligence and redundancy and security and, blah, 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 blah. All this data security, jargon that they were able to do that. They're also, you would know, gunning for becoming, they're a single A. They're gunning for taking advantage of the interest of the 3 mega corporations that are in town now, and they're trying to do their best to look as shiny and awesome to them as possible, so they can either go up in rating or potentially be like bought by, become a subsidiary of, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there thinking about what they've done, what they've gotten through, all these megacorps within our city limits, and it dawns on me to check what grid is the host running on.
Shoot, I knew this. Hold on. Okay, they're on the Horizon grid.
Okay, and this is probably a decent moment to kind of think about it. But like, what is our city grid called? If we're big enough to have one, and what were the other corporations that probably have grids that have connections out here?
The 3 corporations that are in Columbia are Sater Krupp, Horizon, and Evo. The public grid, I did not have the foresight to come up with a name for, so I'll Castnet. Yeah, we're gonna hold off on that. There's definitely a public grid, but I don't know the name of it right now. We'll just call it Columbia Net.
Columbia Net, awesome trademark. All right, and you said Horizon grid.
So Elric is going to ask Throwback to describe as best he can where this building is next to in relation to the place they did the run on. Once I've got a good enough description, I'm going to actually do an astral projection scouting run.
I'm going to warn you that the relation to each other in the Matrix will not translate very well physically, but...
No, I want you to help me understand the difference in physical space, either by... bringing up your Horizon Google Maps or whatever.
Okay, yeah,
so
I can.
I know where the place is that we hit. So if you can explain to me, and if I get a good idea and a good sense of where this place is in relation to that, then I can do a pretty good astral scouting run.
Okay, so it sounds like I probably just need to do a matrix search and see if this place has a listed address on the public net.
Didn't he say it was right across the street?
We did, but he's not like a super literal guy. He also wiggled his magic fingers and made a box appear. So, I mean, he could just be...
Do I remember this place being right across the street?
It is not right across the street, but it is on the same side of the street right next to it.
Okay, perfect.
So it's a building that I've seen, right?
Yeah, you guys have seen it. You're probably, if you've spent a lot of time in Columbia, you might even be familiar with it. It's because it's a 20-story tower outside of the wall.
Oh, it's not many of those.
Yeah, Columbia's only got a handful of skyscrapers, and they're all downtown. This one is not downtown. It's outside of the wall. And yeah.
Once I have a good idea of where it physically should be, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't find it in astral space using the location we actually hit as a good sort of grounding point to orientate myself.
I give you that like drunk buddy slap on the shoulder. It was the place that was so big right next to it.
But actually, before I depart, I do want to summon up a Spirit of Air, Force 6. I got 4 hits.
I start using various table paraphernalia to like try to rebuild the scene and use like a beer bottle as the one building and then like the pitcher as the tall building to kind of orient it for him.
Perfect. You got 1 net hit on your air spirit.
Okay, I end up with 1 stun, and I'm going to have these air spirit tag along with me in astral space and conceal both itself and me and stay out of sight. So with the concealment using its spirit using its concealment power on me, I'm going to go astrally scout this location and see if I can't find it.
All right, I am going to, what would be the astral equivalent of like navigation? I mean, do you have a navigation skill?
Well, let me see. I do have a Columbia area knowledge skill, if that might help.
I think that could substitute perfectly fine.
Also,
especially since you've been there before.
Etherology, so I have a good understanding of how astral space is laid out, maybe. That combined, yeah. I don't know.
with all of that, any kind of modifiers or something would be a wash, and you can just roll your Columbia area knowledge and tell me how many hits you get.
That would be 2 hits on 7 dice.
Okay. You are able to find it after not too long. We'll say like 20 minutes.
All right, I'll watch it for a little while outside to see if there are any exterior signs of wards or patrolling spirits or magicians.
All right. How long are you going to watch?
I don't know, good half hour.
And are you going to sense the area?
Yeah, I'm sensing pretty much anything that shows up that
Right.
I can stare at long enough to find out.
Give me a sensing test.
That would be 6 hits.
All right. There are no wards that you can tell. You've spent a good bit of time looking. There are no wards. It doesn't appear that there have been any spirits passing by. You haven't noticed any magically active like security or anything like that. It doesn't appear that there's very much, if any, magic security that you're aware of.
Well, with that, after watching it for a good half hour or so, I'll go ahead and slip into the building, starting from top to bottom, just kind of moving around, looking for signs of wards or any sort of magical protections or, mages or spirits or anything. Hopefully I'll see them before they see me, but that's a risk I'm willing to take.
First, roll just give me a straight like intuition roll.
That would be 1 hit.
Okay, and how long are you going to spend looking through the building?
I'm not going to stop too long at any given place, but I want to move with some care. Depending on how big it is, I guess I want to be able to essentially zip through each and every room I can find, even though I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. So, I don't know, I figure maybe up to half an hour. If it's going to take way longer than that, then let me know. I'll probably skip through certain sections and zip past. But I want to get a good idea of, the layout of the place and if there's any astral surprises here. And if there are no astral wards to be concerned with, then that will affect my plans later. I imagine have you been hearing me talk?
Yes, I have. I'm sorry. I've been thinking and rolling.
And as I guess I figure the first 15 minutes or so is the slowest as I'm being most cautious. If I'm not running into any signs of patrolling spirits or astrally projecting magicians or wards, then I'll probably start getting a bit more bold and start zipping around with a bit more speed. Keep in mind, any perception test to find me or my spirit that's tagging along are at a -6.
No problem. Now give me one last sort of just general perception test.
That would be 3 hits.
All right. So you definitely don't find any wards. You find that there is, you said you got a sensing. I want you to, I never had you roll a sensing a second time, did I?
No, just once.
All right. Give me just an overall second sensing test for while you're going inside the building. Sorry for all the rolling. I have like things that I am having you either deal with or encounter.
It's not quite my astral limit, but I get to keep all 7 of my hits.
Okay. Then you're definitely okay. So you're moving through the building. There's a larger bottom floor, ground floor, and there's a large tower behind the large building that the tower is a part of. There's a smaller, not too much smaller, but a slightly smaller building connected by a hallway. That building has what appears to be a single doorway that is, when you're first going through there, moving around, you notice it before you go through it. It looks a little odd, and you realize that you have heard about this before, and it's some sort of a magical fab magic detection barrier. So it's not a ward per se, but you've heard of these before. They're used to detect magic as they pass through it or encounter it or touch it in any way.
Okay.
Also, while you're rolling that, also as you were zipping around and speeding up and all that, you did realize that at some point you passed through 1 or 2 people, at least one of which seemed to notice that they were that something strange happened.
Oh, okay. I'm going to try to avoid passing through people's physical forms or astral forms if I can help it.
Yeah, I figured you were trying, but as you were speeding up, that happened.
Fair enough. I got 4 hits on my Arcana test to figure out if me casting my spatial sense or clairvoyance to look past areas that have these astrally sensing bacteria nets, whether or not those would trigger them, or if it would just be if I cast a spell that targets through it.
God,
Or if
that's a
that
really
makes
good
difference.
question, isn't it?
So Eric's going to ponder that. I won't necessarily require an answer. I'll probably look up some stuff back in my lodge at home and whatnot to get to the answer. And I'll return to my body and let people know what I found. Doesn't look like they have any magical security to speak of, though they do have these astral, these basically, think of them like tripwires, that if a spell or an astral form passes through them, they'll know it happened. So they might be able to call for magical backup if they need it. That's not going to stop me gathering the information that I need to gather with my new spells.
Awesome.
But I do need to get physically close. Do you have any idea of the layout of this place? How big it is, dimensions, that sort of thing? I've got a reasonable idea myself from astral space, but it's hard to translate that kind of thing to meters.
I don't think they're going to have any public records on display. If we want to get a layout, it'll require hacking this place.
So can you do that?
Yeah, probably. Maybe. It's going to be tough without being physically there.
Well, we could always drive over to that side of town, right? How close do you need to be? Yeah,
I can do it from anywhere, but without. I'll try.
Well, Leroy probably wants to get some eyes on the place anyway, right?
I saw it last time. It was a big building.
Are you drunk?
No.
Yes.
Drink, man. It's okay to drink a few beers, but we're trying to work here.
We're not doing anything. Out of character. He didn't give us a timeline or anything for this, did he?
Nope.
All right, I didn't think so.
We
I
have
was just
12 hours.
well, it's gonna be real interested.
Yeah.
Maybe we should scout this place out tomorrow then.
I think that's a good idea, and I'll see about getting a blueprint then.
Okay, sounds good. And then I guess we have to figure out how we're gonna get near enough the place where I can do my magic and look behind their closed doors. I'm curious to see how well this is gonna work. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Some new magic for me.
You said they had people in the walls?
No, there's people in the buildings, not in the walls.
No, what was the thing in the walls?
I can look through the walls with my spell, like make my vision go past the walls. Kind of like X-ray vision, but not exactly.
He's just gonna kind of wave dismissively. He's like, no, the other thing, the glowy thing.
You said something got alerted when there was magic?
Oh no, there's these barriers that it's essentially like alarms systems that will glow or respond in some way if they detect a magical presence there. I'm going to need to do some research to see if my spells will set them off before I try doing them. If they are going to set them off, we might want to wait to do actual scouting when we do the run, but that does make things riskier because then we don't know where we're going right off the bat.
And what is it?
It's a specialized form of bacteria that's active on the astral plane as well as the physical. It's a dual-natured. I believe they often are set to give off some sort of a glow, and usually there's some sort of a technological sensor that will pick up when it goes off, so that will alert the. And they can
let's give it a fever.
They could send a magical backup.
Let's give it a fever.
It would require access to it, in which case we're already going to be in the building.
No, just get them to turn the heat up overnight.
Well, I guess it's looking into throwback. If you manage to hack the place in some way, if you can access their, it might be called something like this. And I explained the technical terms for the the fab containment module or whatever it is. If you can find something like this and mess with its support characteristics, it will possibly kill off the virus or bacteria. It might be a good countermeasure. They might not even realize that it's dead and we can do what we want. But
all right.
I'm not sure if that thing's going to be accessible on the Matrix.
Well, did you say this was all over the building, or was it just sort of blocking one area?
Just in certain places. I could move around it for the most part. I didn't trigger it myself, I don't think. Well, I might have passed through some people.
That might be an indication of where R&D is then, right?
It's a good sign. It's certainly, if there's a place they don't want people looking, that's probably where we want to look.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Where was that on the 20 floors?
Have you done stuff like this before? Do you know stuff about security systems?
Whose security systems do you know about? Throwback cracks a grin like he already knows the answer, but he keeps it to himself.
I give Throwback like a long look, kind of just like look at him as though I'm looking to see if he has a hickey on his neck.
You find no hickeys on Throwback's neck.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Payback gets over whatever bug he's got. So I think we could use some drone support on this too.
I mean, give it a day or two, see if he's feeling better.
Yeah, last time you saw Payback Elric, he was,
Thrown up in the shower.
he was throwing up in the shower. Yeah, you walked in on him naked again in the shower, but this time he was vomiting.
There's the real romance.
I heard him vomiting, and I didn't realize he was in the shower. I was going to check at him, but yeah, it was not fun.
That's what I was trying to say. It'd be easier if we went there and I could find a way to connect directly. But, I mean, this place...
Oh, hey, Leroy can do that, right? You're good at scooping it up and planting things on. Like that time you snuck into that guy's apartment and stole his thing? Swapped it out? You should probably be sober for that, though.
I mean, we can do that again, sure.
Yeah, that would probably help.
It's maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah, we can find where somebody lives, and we can go break into their house tonight.
Wait, he's had a lot to drink. He gets this way.
I'm not anyway.
So it looks like there are some plans out there, and that you guys are gonna execute on. Some involve going in actually on site and checking it out at least. Was there any kind of general matrix searching? Because you're not going to do that right now. Was there any kind of like general information that you're going to try to get dig for first?
There was something I said I wanted to matrix. Oh, that was just the address. I don't think so. Everything I need to know is either inside the host, or because it won't be in the host, will tell me that it's offline. And I don't really want to go face to face with a rating 5 host wirelessly.
Right. Now, too, it is conceivable that some information about general security or less secure floor plans or something like that might be able to be found on the matrix. Like people who have there's all sorts of reasons that stuff might have leaked, right? So if you want to, you can do whatever you want. I'm not trying to.
I forgot who I was. I have somebody for this. Yeah, I have a guy who could not only could I probably get a little bit of public information, which I'd be really curious if there's anything that citizens can do inside this building. Is there any commercial capacity, or is it like totally a corporate office building, all 20 floors? So I guess that's what I would like to search for. But then I think I'd like to hit up BMW and find out maybe if they could help me score some of that insider information that I need about this building instead of having to risk exposure myself to the host.
All right, excellent thought. Let me see.
Yeah, BMW is my info broker / Decker contact. I believe I've dealt with them at least once before. They helped us get some immediate information on Pillar when that whole incident went down.
I gotta write that on my brilliant plans.
Yeah, don't forget the beer bottles.
It's more that it's gonna be like 2 weeks before we play again, and plans are brilliant.
You mean literally write down plans? Okay.
Yo, Drunk Leroy has the best plans, and you're lucky we all got MacGuffined.
All right.
And I think anything Elric has in mind basically depends on how close he can physically get there. So he's depending on, the further matrix and sort of long range visual recon to determine what they're going to do next. So I guess he'll kind of wait on that, and he'll probably just do some research and figure out whether or not his spells will trigger those fab nets or whatever they are.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed. This show would literally not be possible without the generous support of our patrons over at Patreon. If you like the show and you want to help support it, head on over to patreon.com/complexaction. Supporting can get you access to GM notes and even the chance to get selected to join us as a guest on our cast party episodes, just like we just had. And if you want to join us, then head on over to patreon.com/complexaction to help out in any way you can. There are several NPCs and organizations which were provided by patrons of Complex Action while we were in the planning stages of this actual play, and those were, in this episode, BMW was submitted by Scott Flowers. Thank you for your support. The character art seen on our YouTube page and various social media places was done by Ethan Brewerton. Check out his awesome Shadowrun artwork at esbrewerton.com. The background music in this episode is brought to you by Prism Shard. To hear more of his Shadowrun-inspired music, head on over to soundcloud.com/prism-shard and give him some love. The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sounds, audio, video, and or any proprietary material used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Complex Action to use such names, logos, artwork, marks, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its websites, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Complex Action in any official capacity whatsoever.